So, like a lot of people, I grew up hearing that a man, the way a man is going to treat his lady, his partner, is really reflected through how he treats his mother. His and maybe his female aunts, and his aunts, his grandmother. The female family members in his life. If you pay attention to that, then you can see how he's going to treat you. And I think that ideally, that does sound about right. But it wasn't until like later on I start realizing through, uh, unfortunately, some of my peers that I associate with, and even some family members, that there are people who have adopted very uh, distorted understandings on how to treat women, and they're very inconsistent. There are men that will honor their mothers, honor their grandmothers, honor their aunts, and they will just about go crazy and lose themselves and get beside themselves and almost willing to go to jail. Um, if someone was to threaten or even speak ill about any of these ladies in their family. However, these same guys uh, will have no issue calling other women who are not family members out of their name. Maybe somebody who they were romantically involved in, and they kind of feel like the lady didn't fulfill their needs, or maybe the guy, in general, he really just isn't as desire. Doesn't have the desire to really pursue any further. There are some relationships, to my understanding, that sometimes there was like this fling. There was this time period when these couples kind of enjoyed each other for a season. Maybe they were younger, maybe they were foolish, but there was real no genuine chemistry. And what happens is sometimes when we are familiar with a person and we get attached to them and we get accustomed to their routines, and especially if we aren't very secure with ourselves, we will lock on to somebody who really, for the rest of their lives, will never display that they're genuinely interested in who we are. So it's sad because there are a lot of people who suffers. Men. I would say women more than men. Men also suffer from this. I've had my challenges as well. Although I haven't had like a very long-term relationship. I remember my very first relationship was something very similar. But no, I guess my general thing I just want to say is that you have to examine a man more closely. You can't just say, hey, he's being respectful to his mom, so therefore he's a good man. It doesn't work that way. It's not that easy. There are men that have absolutely no problem visiting their mother every Sunday, bringing her food, paying her bills, and cursing you out because he doesn't like certain traits that you have, and he may have an unrealistic expectation for you. So it's just something to keep in mind. But you want to look at how a man treats people in general, and that will show you a lot of who he is. Even the people he disagrees with, you'll find out more about a man's nature, instead of just kind of saying, hey, he's nice to his mom, his aunts, his grandmother, so therefore he's nice, because like I said, there are plenty of men that have no problem taking care of their daughters and honoring their sisters and their nieces and mothers and grandmothers, and they will curse you out and mistreat you because they're not consistent. So don't let that be something that you look at and decide, okay, he's a qualified guy because he's nice to his mom. It doesn't work that way.